Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
Broncos, Saints.
3 receivers to the right of the line. Nix in the shotgun, gets the snap, hands to Williams, gaping hole, he'll walk in untouched for a Denver touchdown. Javonte Williams, nobody near him, and the Broncos take a 12-0 lead. First and goal at the 5. Williams the single back, he gets the carry, hesitates, plows forward to the 2, to the 1, and in for a Denver touchdown. He would not be denied. Javonte Williams from 5 yards out, his second touchdown of the night, and it's 25-3 Denver. Second down and 10 at the 34. Here comes a blitz. Rattler rolls. The ball popped up in the air, and it's picked off by Cody Barton. Steps through a tackle, and Barton is going to take it all the way for a Denver pick 6. He backs into the end zone to take a Denver win back west. 32-3. Cody Barton for 6 for Denver.
There's a 2-2. Swing and a high fly ball left field, pretty well struck. Nimmo back near the wall. Nimmo looking out of here. And Mookie Betts will touch them all. Big night for Mookie, and the Dodgers have opened up a 7-2 lead on a towering homer by Betts. And the pitch. Swing and a line drive up the middle and a base hit. In to score from third is Edman. Down to second will go Kike Hernandez. It's an RBI single for Will Smith, and it is 10-2.
Ground ball, it's through into center field past the dive of Gleyber Torres. A big RBI for Andres Jimenez in the bottom of the 6th, and the Guardians now lead it 3-1. Clase, 1-2 to Judge. And this one to right, on a line, going back, at the wall, it is gone! Aaron Judge does it. Stanton sends one deep to center field. That sends Thomas back. At the wall, it's gone! Giancarlo Stanton's solo shot follows Judge, and the Yankees against Clase have grabbed a 4-3 lead. The 1-0 to Noel. Swings and he kills it! Left field, we are tied! Oh my goodness! Christmas does come early. Jackenzie Noel hit one 404 feet on a changeup. And it is 5-5, the biggest pinch hit home run of his life. Naylor down there at third. That ball is smoked, left field, bat down, game over. A home run again. David Fry does it. And the Guardians, in a shocking display of power, rally against the Yankees, and they win it 7-5.
Chiefs.
As a defensive lineman, it's hard to be appreciated as much unless you got 10 to 15 sacks, and you know what I mean, unless you got the numbers. But it doesn't take away from what he's contributing to their team and their defense success. And I think this is overall, you know what I mean, when you look at a lot of guys who doesn't have the numbers, but having such an outstanding year that the numbers doesn't match up. You know, it's one of those type of games, man, and it's okay to not have the numbers. I've been through it before. You know, you can't pay attention to numbers. Team success is the best success, you know what I mean? So I'm not really a numbers guy. I don't really care. You know, it is good to have the numbers there.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Friday, October 18, 2024. Stephen St. John alongside producer Jake Gutierrez. Today on the show we have Stan Weber in the studio talking football. Jeff Penner will give us a weekend forecast. The New Day Blitz will be back in full force since all the teams are playing. Gabe DeArmond with Mizzou, Matt Walters with K-State, John Kirby talks Kansas. An adjustment to the Friday schedule. Mike McFarland, normally at 8:30 during the Royals baseball season. The Royals have completed their season. So now pinch hitting for Mike McFarland. You get a double dose now on New Day. You get him on Monday, and now you get him on Friday. Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride.
Are you ready for some football?
Will join us at 8:30 and give us a preview on Monday. Unless it's the Monday Night Football, he gives us a review, and so then on Friday he gives us a preview. So we'll talk to the Chiefs, or talk to Pete Sweeney about the Chiefs and their game coming up on Sunday against the 49ers. Dion Clisso from Preps KC will give us a rundown on the big games in high school football. And then Tim Grunhard will either be in studio or in Florida. And I never know which. And I don't trust the schedule because I'm not sure Jake knows every week.
Dude, where's my dildo?
I don't know why that drop would be played at this point in the show. But hey, we're off and running on a Friday. So Tim Grunhard in the 9 o'clock hour. There we go. Last night I was at the Edge of Hell Haunted House down in the West Bottoms. I don't know how many years I've been going down there. Well, as long as it's been down there. Many people know SSJ Trivia. My first actual job was at a haunted house back at the Haunted Hotel, and then Main Street Morgue, where I was anyone from The Thing, Swamp Thing. At one point, I was under a bridge like a troll with an arm, kind of like a.
So give me like a point of reference time wise. Like what years would it have been? You might have been a troll.
8th grade.
Okay. So
7th or 8th grade.
That was before my time.
8th grade.
I was allowed to.
I did it for a couple years.
I remember Main Street Morgue. That's a good
Main
one.
Street Morgue.
That's a good one.
Main Street Morgue, right across the street from Time for News, where my mom and dad would take me to get when the wrestling magazines would come out, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, The Wrestler, and Inside Wrestling, and a thrill for a young Stephen St. John. Not only would he go get the new wrestling magazines, and also I would get Baseball Digest. I would get, whatever, football magazines, whatever.
Street and Smith college basketball mag.
Whatever they had. I would go down there at Time for News, and this was it had everything, all the newspapers from around the country, every magazine. You go down there, and it was a big thrill for very young and curious Stephen St. John, because they had the sports and the wrestling magazines placed strategically right next to the porno mags. And so that was always,
Hello.
Mom, I'm going to go back there by myself and get those wrestling magazines. You stay up here and
coronal mass
look at the
ejection.
National Enquirer.
Hello.
To my dad, I'll go back there with you. Go sit in the car. I'll pick out your damn magazines. Then there was a sandwich place, a bar that had great sandwiches called Soki's. That my dad would go in there, and my dad would tell me, sit here at the bar and eat the sandwich. I'll be back in 15 minutes. And I go, okay. And then he'd just disappear and come back. Are you done yet? Okay. And then, of course, right down the street, the Magic Touch Massage Parlor. So a lot of things happen in that area on Main, especially for a young 12-year-old with his first gig, his first job. And then they dressed me up as Freddy Krueger sometimes. There's all kinds of stuff. Until my employment ended when someone pulled a knife on me and put it to my throat inside the Main Street morgue, a patron. And then they were able to, I got to security before he was out. You know, the dummy forgot he still had to go through most of the haunted house. And then they had me pick him, identify him up against the wall. And then my dad was picking me up, and he found out what happened. And he went up to I'll never forget this.
Oh, boy.
He went up to the police officer. He goes, "Why don't you let him go? Just go ahead and let him go. We're not pressing charges." And I remember the cop's like, "What?" He goes,
Yeah, don't worry about it.
"Do me a favor, let him go."
Oh, boy.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Dad, how come you don't want?" He goes, "Shut up, let him go."
Oh, boy.
And the police officer's like, "We're arresting him. We're gonna arrest him. We're gonna." And my dad's like, "You sure? Sure don't want to let him go?" Like, and for that, you know what? For that guy,
Yeah.
he got the right choice.
Right.
So that's when it all started for me with haunted houses, and they're kind enough. Monty and Amber and everyone down there with Full Moon are kind enough to invite me back. And what's great for me is I get a chance to invite my family down there. So last night I had the twins, Julia and Selena, their friend Sadie, and their friend Austin, and their mother Susan. She goes, "I'm not going through Emma." I said, "Oh, no. They want you to go through." "Who does?" I said, "Amber said that she hopes you go through." "Oh, she wants me to go through?"
The Queen of Haunts.
Yeah. I go, "Yeah, they want you to go through."
That's right.
"Okay, then." And so they went through Edge of Hell and The Beast. As I sat with the scary salesman, Rob Manning, under our tent.
That's frightening.
And gave out some 810 football magazines, some koozies. And I talked to several dads who were listening to the game on the way down or heard me talking about it. And they were down there, kind of what I was doing, waiting for their kids to go through the haunted houses. So great night last night. That was awesome. Thank you. Look at this artistic picture I posted on. I'm pretty proud of this. Did you see this?
It was on Instagram?
And I put it on Twitter. Look at that.
I think
I did that by myself.
You didn't put that on Instagram?
Yeah.
I saw it.
I did that by myself. That's some extra time down there. They like, look at that. I look scared. Edge of Hell behind me. Some color wash in there. I don't know.
You're now a graphic designer.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good right there. So we're down there. And what the other cool thing is, all the dads in the line are wanting score updates because you got ALCS, you got NLCS, and you got Thursday Night Football. And remember when I told you I choose to watch football over baseball? Well, we found out what my threshold was last night because that was a dog-ass football game. Dog-ass. And not just because the Broncos were winning. And I know Seattle's offense has been ravaged by injury, but that thing was unwatchable. Yeah. I saw some of the worst throws by what are described as NFL quarterbacks. It made me, I felt like I had never seen anything in my life watching this. Overthrows, underthrows. There's one throw that went right into the hands of Tyrann Mathieu. He dropped it.
I've never seen anything in my life.
Rob's an Oklahoma fan. Hey, there's your guy, Spencer Rattler. Let's watch him. And he goes, I don't want to watch that. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Let's watch. Bo Nix versus Spencer Rattler. They should make that like Thursday night football at midnight. Good God. Whatever the hell that was. But it was an easy decision last night, right? Because
you weren't torn.
You had an unbelievable ALCS Game 3 going on. And that's one of the best playoff games you'll see. That was awesome. And I'm not just saying that because the Yankees lost.
That pulled you back in.
It sure did. That's what I was waiting for. Hey, Cleveland, show some life. Show some fight. Let me see something. And boy, did they. Cleveland wins in 10 innings, 7-5. I mean, wow.
Yeah, when Judge and Stanton went back-to-back to put him up, I was like, oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's over.
Damn it.
It's over. You know?
Was that the 7th? Top of the 7th?
I mean, thought it was over.
Yeah, I was like, great. Here we go. Nice. The Yankees bullpen has been pretty nails.
The situation that Jake's describing, Cleveland was up 3-1, and then in the 8th inning, Soto walks, Judge hits a 2-run home run to tie it.
Ties at 3-3.
And then Stanton hits a home run to give him the lead.
Back-to-back.
And then they tack on another run in the 9th, so it's 5-3. And you got Luke Weaver, who you remember looked absolutely unhittable against the Royals. And you're thinking, well, there it is. Cleveland had their chance to make it a series. Now they're going to be down 3-0 and in an absolute gut punch of a loss. Hey, we've all seen a late game home run by Stanton rip your heart out, right? Been there, done that. But Cleveland fought back. Wow. After Naylor grounded into a double play, they're down to their final out, down to the final strike. Thomas doubled, and Noel's down to his final strike with 2 outs, and he crushes a home run.
Swung out and hammered. High, deep to left. Away, out of here. Bedlam in Cleveland.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I mean, that was a great call by Tom Hamilton on the Indians Radio Network.
There's a better call. Play
Yep.
the Spanish call of that same home run that tied the game
You know
in
how
the
many
ninth.
times Steve sent me this?
Yeah, es que-
Plató, batazo. ¡Feliz Navidad! ¡Feliz Navidad! ¡Con Kelsey Noel! Acaba de empatar el encuentro la Navidad en octubre. ¡Qué bárbaro, qué monstruo! Se puso la Navidad y no ha nevado todavía. Lo que cayó fue la explosión que le dije a ustedes si se envasaba Nate Thomas, algo iba a pasar. La puso chiquitita. John Kelsey Noel, 2 Santos empate este partido. Le dije a ustedes que esto no se ha acabado. Todavía una gran oportunidad. ¡Qué clase de palo, mi gente!
And so Noel, who they call Big Christmas.
Big
That's why
Christmas,
they're
right.
saying Feliz Navidad. Great. Now play Tom Hamilton's call of David Fry's walk-off home run in the 10th inning. I mean, that was goosebumps. That was awesome. That was chills. What a great moment for Cleveland getting that walk-off home run to beat the Yankees.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to left. There she goes. How about that? A walk-off, 2-run home run to the bleachers and left by David Fry. And the magical 2024 season is not done by any means. Cleveland with a 7-5 10th inning win.
And then some comments from David Fry, what it was like to hit that game-winning home run.
Obviously, Clay's a really tough at bat, especially for a righty with that sinker-slider combo. The first, or I guess it was my second at bat off of Weaver, was no good at all. And I was just like, I just told God, I was like, hey, man, take this. Like, this is a tough matchup. Just try to have fun, and you take the at bat. And got behind in the count and just got a pitch up in the zone, and luckily it went out.
Now, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? What do you think I'm going to say?
I don't know.
Why do I feel vindicated after watching that last night? What is something I hate about baseball? that I did not have to put up with last night.
The runner on second.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked like somehow baseball survived without Ghost Man on second.
Yeah.
It looked like we still had a pretty compelling 10th inning. It was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was okay that they kept playing baseball in the 10th inning the way they had played the previous 9 innings. I mean, were you in the 10th inning? Were you like, oh, no. Where's the runner on second? Come on. Was that what you were looking for? Were you asking for that?
No.
You know? I mean, did we lose some drama there? Oh, that walk-off home run was great. But, man, if there could have been a ghost runner on second, there would have been a ghost runner on second. We never get to that home run. Probably scores on Bo Naylor's leadoff single. But, I mean, right? It was okay.
Yeah, it worked out.
It was just all right to keep playing baseball. Funny how that works out. See? Oh, see, and then that's what also irritates me. They'll do that in the regular season. Oh, but in the postseason, no, we're not going to do. Why not? Why don't you want to do it in the postseason? Oh, because the games matter. Oh. So you're insinuating that rule's kind of stupid because you don't want to do it in the postseason. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. I agree. Yeah, that's right.
Well, at least they got it right for the postseason.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. And it's just like the Royals had that opportunity. The Royals had that team.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't come up with a big hit in games 3 and 4. The Yankees are not some super team that's unbeatable.
No,
They were
not.
They were right there. And the Royals had that opportunity to come up with a big hit in the 8th inning, in the 9th inning, and they just didn't do it. But that's all right. Cleveland did last night. I'll take that. And the Yankees bullpen didn't look so unhittable. And that's why I was like, how's Luke Weaver doing this? Come on. It just feels like there was like, okay, baseball gods, this is what it really is. Here you go. Man, what would it have been like to have been in that stadium last night?
That place was going nuts.
Wow.
Nuts.
Why wouldn't you? Not only do you get a 2-out game-tying home run, but then you get a walk-off home run to beat the Yankees and just to essentially just change the series. You're 1 strike away from being 3 games to nothing down. And then all of a sudden it's 2-1 and all the momentum's with you. Huh. And also the Dodgers beat the hell out of the Mets 10-2. Oh, Jake wants me to mention the score of Thursday Night Football. It was 33-10, by the way.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't play the under. I played the -3.5.
Yeah, I don't even know what was. I would tune into that game, watching it down there, and I'd see some god awful pass or someone fumbling or just whatever.
Oh, I watched way more of that game than I should have.
Was it? You think it was good?
No, it wasn't. But I was
right.
I want to make sure there's no way that, as bad as that game was, there's no way the Saints were coming back.
Right. But there was
awful.
Too good of an option with the ALCS.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're ever wondering, okay, so what's it going to take for St. John to turn football off and watch baseball and say, there it is. I mean, there it was right there. And it didn't take a lot either.
Spencer Rattler, Bo Nix matchup.
I was thinking I might have turned the football game off even if there wasn't baseball to watch.
I saw a funny tweet last night from Robert Mays, who occasionally joins us on the show. It's like, this harkens back. He's like, last week was an aberration. I'm glad we're back to this. Reminds me of a Mariota Bortles matchup on the Rush.
I was like, looking
Rush
like,
uniforms.
I was like, I don't want to see this.
No.
Stop this. Stop this game.
Well, the Broncos are now a 38% chance of making the playoffs.
Oh, good. It's great. Can't wait till the Chiefs play.
It's higher than the Bengals, and it's higher than the Jets.
Can't wait till Bo Nix gets a crack at the Chiefs defense.
Yeah, right.
Can't wait. Hey, Bo.
I do want to, before we break.
Bo, this gentleman's name is Chris Jones.
Yeah.
We'd like you to
Introduce you.
Yeah, introduce you to him. You know what?
Welcome to the AFC West.
You got to get to know him real well.
Right.
Go ahead.
I want to mention, I know we normally don't do traffic, but there is a bad backup for miles and miles east I-70, east of 18th Street.
Oh, boy.
So Drake just said, I know you guys don't do traffic, but...
we do when the Drake sends it in.
Right, when Drake sends it in.
Hopefully everyone's getting, what the hell is he doing over there?
He's not. He's just, it says it's all over the news.
I thought he was like driving around or something.
Yeah.
Like
I-70 east at 18th Street is backed up for miles, is what he says.
Well, that affects you, then.
Yep. Heads up.
Adjust accordingly.
You're getting ready to go to work.
Hopefully everyone's all right.
Yeah. So, just a public service announcement.
Thank you. Thank you, Drake. We'll take a break. That rhymed. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I got that ranting and raving out of my system. Thank you, Jake, for being a sounding board. You like that?
That's what I'm here for. It's entertaining. You do it in a fun way for me.
Anybody else break up a fight between their daughters at 2:30 in the morning? Just checking. I go out in the hallway like, let me ask you a question. What the hell's going on out here? You don't have school tomorrow. I get it. Nobody cares. I get up in an hour and 15 minutes, and you guys are out here yelling about something. Well, she did. No. I don't care. Go to separate corners. Go. Out. We have Stan Weber in studio. Hello, Stan. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, you didn't break up a fight at 2:30 in the morning?
Never broke up a fight in my life.
Well, you're never around my daughters then. Well, you have been, but you just haven't seen them at their best. Or worst. It was a shouting match.
Really?
Accusations.
Wow.
Finger pointing.
Never seen that.
Yeah. Oh, my kids have a big history of fighting each other. One time, Richie literally put Phil's ass through the wall. Remember that one?
Yeah. They covered
I go
it up
home, I go to the room, and there's a poster.
Weeks.
There's a Mizzou football schedule poster that's like at knee level. That used to be up in there, I go.
So they finally got along after that.
That's a weird.
They started working together.
That's a weird place to have a poster down there. I wonder why. And I take it off, and there's a hole in the wall that's the shape of an ass, you know. And so, yeah, the explanation actually got him out of trouble. I go, what happened? Don't lie to me. We were wrestling, and I kind of put his ass through the wall. I said, well, you know what? Okay, all right then.
Be honest.
All right, there we go. Now you're gonna fix it, but okay, let's go. Oh boy, did you?
Is the poster still there, or did you have to fix it?
No, it was fixed.
Okay.
Yeah, the poster was put back.
You never know.
Yeah. No,
it is a Missouri poster. You might say, let's stack a couple of them up.
No, he something had to be done. We were talking about the whatever that football game was going on at the same time of ALCS Game 3, which was incredible. And I imagine, like I told you, that was my threshold. Was I can't watch this football game anymore. This is terrible. But you are a man that will continue to watch football. Did you hold on and watch the whole Thursday night game, the Bo Nix Spencer Rattler showdown?
I probably had less focus on that game than any game I can ever remember.
It was very difficult to watch, wasn't it?
Because it started way after the American League Championship Series game, because that game started very early. So football should have been on afterwards, but I stayed with the baseball, which could be a little surprising as well. I stayed with it and saw the Yankees drama in the 8th, add on in the 9th. Then what's even more dramatic is Cleveland got runner on first with no outs in the 9th, bottom of the 9th. You're saying this, okay, maybe something magical can happen. Doubt it, because the Yankees just stormed the place 2 down to 1 up, and then a double play. Just a hit right back to the pitcher, double play, and now you're going 2 outs, it is over. But I stuck with it, and the first batter banged one off the left center field wall, almost a home run, but it was only a double. But they needed 2 runs.
Yeah.
So you go, still too little, too late. If that runner on first was still alive, we'd be into something right now. 1 out, 1 run in, man on second. Still not expecting the drama. And then all of a sudden, bang, 2-run homer, and here we go. And they backed it up in the 10th because the Yankees had runners on in the 10th. So, yeah, the National League game was so boring that it could drive you right back to football, okay?
Yeah, every time I was driven back to football, then Spencer Rattler would throw a pass, and I'd think,
the Saints didn't have a chance.
Not doing this.
But the Honey Badger, who has a lot of interceptions in his career and isn't going to have a lot more, had one.
Right there.
Oh, my. Like a high school kid throwing him the ball. There was no offensive player around. He was coming back to the quarterback, so he saw the ball the whole way, softly thrown right into his belly. About how far downfield was he? 25 yards downfield? Plenty of time to look. saw it all the way, and dropped it. But Bo Nix, boy, he is a roller coaster ride because he had some open receivers that he missed. One time he had 2 guys open for a touchdown, 1 tight end short crossing over, and 1 guy curling up deeper behind him, and he somehow threw such a bad pass that he dropped the ball in between both of them without either of them touching it. Did you see that? That was hard to do. I mean, if he would have overthrown the tight end by a little bit more, he would have actually hit the second guy. So no one knows which receiver he actually was trying to throw it to. But to miss 2 guys that were on the left side of the field all by themselves early in the game, when the game was still close. It was 3-0 at that time, I think.
Yeah, it was early.
I mean, that was hard to do, to miss 2 guys who were that wide open and looking at him. Like, okay, throw me the ball. Oh, it's over my head. I don't think I can get to it. Then the guy's, it's a little short. I don't think I can get to it. And it bounces in between. So Bo Nix threw some bad passes, but still he was way better than Spencer Rattler, who somehow created the I can fumble for touchdowns better than anybody alive. He had one of them called back. Go to the stat sheet now. You're not going to see one of them because someone on the Denver defense lined up offside in the neutral zone, barely, had nothing to do with the play. He would have had another fumble return for a touchdown, but it got called back.
Yeah, I
How about the Saints fans? When they, early in the year, they thought Carr was doing some things and firing up, and they went to Dallas and just ran him out of town. They thought they had a receiver that reminds them of Tyreek Hill with his speed. Oh, he's out for the season already. Right. I mean, they are just a shell of themselves. There was no doubt Denver was going to win that game.
So here's the question I have for you coming out of that game. We've had this discussion the last couple of weeks with Jeff Chadia from NFL Network and NFL.com about the Cincinnati Bengals and their struggles and their 2-4 start. And he's maintained they're still going to make the playoffs because there's not enough good teams that'll keep them out. There's the AFC's top heavy, but then there's a lot of mediocrity there in the middle, parity, whatever you want to call it. But and we would say, okay, and then maybe we need to back off of this now. Okay, the Bills are going to make the playoffs. They're going to win that division. In the North, the Ravens are going to make the playoffs. The Steelers, it's so weird now. They're 4-2 and they're switching quarterbacks, and so they seem like a playoff team. But who knows? Houston's a playoff team. Of course, the Chiefs, and then I think the Chargers. Jake has offered up the Jets, but now Jake may be rescinding that offer. I don't know.
The big matchup this weekend, the Steelers will say a lot. The Jets and Steelers game will say a lot about that race.
Denver, do you think they're good enough to make a run at a wild card? And look, I don't want Denver to make it either, but I'm just trying to make a case against the Cincinnati Bengals. There's got to be enough good teams that finish ahead of them. I mean, is Denver? I mean, they did have to go out there and they blew them out. They laid an egg against the Chargers, but they are 4-3, so they have to be recognized, I guess.
You said make a run, so then the answer's easy. When you say make a run, yeah, they're going to be right in the mix. Now, will they make it? That's a little bit harder question when you have to pick the 7. It's a very interesting group you can pick from because the failing of so many of these teams that should be better has allowed anything and everything to happen. Even this. You can talk about the Jets for a second because Devontae Adams now joins Rodgers, but what's Rodgers? He hasn't looked good. Real quick comment on the Jets. I said the problem with the Jets is the defense, totally overrated. No one's known it because their quarterback stunk so much. They always get credit like, well, you only lost 17-14. Great job.
And the offensive line can't protect Aaron Rodgers.
But I think the defense is way overrated. They did not show up, and playing defense under pressure is completely different than just playing defense when you're a bad team. But here's the thing. You can dream about the Jets maybe turning it on. You can dream about Miami if Tua comes back.
Right.
Of Miami turning it on. Miami should be out of this, right? But look around. If they start playing Miami Dolphin football again with that high-level offense, there are very few teams playing that high-level offense, and they're not in good shape right now, but they're 2-3, and if Tua came back, they could make a run. So you've got a lot of bad teams making a run, and Cincinnati's been given a get-out-of-jail-free card because usually when you start as badly as they have, 2-4, your odds should be about 3 to 5% of making the playoffs.
And there's already teams that are eliminated. Like the Patriots, the Browns, the Jags, the Titans, the Raiders. I feel like those teams are all just dead already.
Right. And the distribution of teams worked out very well for these wild card participants because division champions are playing good football. See, if Houston were in a division where they were battling with someone who also was right at their record, then you'd have two teams from that division making the playoffs. But right now, I've got Houston winning the division. Okay, good record, 5-1. Why wouldn't they? Good team, played well last year. Quarterback was great. New head coach last year. Why wouldn't Houston be all grown up and ready? But who else in that division can possibly make the playoffs? Jacksonville, no way. Tennessee, I don't see it. And I don't think the Colts are any good. So there are openings all over the place. Do you really, if you're the Denver Broncos and you're thinking, can we possibly make it, or the Cincinnati Bengals, and you go, are we really worried about the Jets and the Dolphins putting this together? If the Jets and Dolphins don't, then there are 3 playoff spots laying out there for Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Chargers, and Broncos.
I'll throw Indy in with the Broncos. I think Indy's every bit as good as Denver is.
If Flacco plays,
right? Well,
they don't want Flacco to play.
Well, that.
No, you didn't. You don't know. Are you agree with me?
Richardson is.
If Flacco plays, the Colts can make the playoffs.
Right. I agree.
How does this get so backwards? Like, he's the better quarterback.
I agree.
But they want to play the young guy and lose.
Well, I don't think the young guy can stay healthy. So, I think we might see Flacco. His injury status, he can't stay healthy. Yeah, he's supposed to come back this weekend, but
I have no problem with that. Denver's not a dominant team,
right.
But I do believe in their coaching. I believe in Peyton, and I know it's a little bit old school and a little bit crazy for the modern football fan because he's a Bill Parcells type of guy. He's in your face. He's argumentative. You didn't see that with Drew Brees because Drew Brees was such a pro, and he did everything right on his own that he didn't need to get yelled at. And if he did get yelled at, it might be such that Drew's like, bring it. I want to be coached. Drew wanted to be coached like Patrick Mahomes wants to be coached.
Right. Listen, so one of the teams we're talking about, Pittsburgh, it's bizarre because they're 4-2, and they're making a quarterback change. You usually don't see that, right, unless there's an injury. And so I just sent you this clip, Jake. Play this. Justin Fields met with the media yesterday, and they asked him about this, about Russell Wilson now getting snaps with the first string with the starters in practice, and he's going to be starting coming up this weekend. And so here is Justin Fields yesterday talking about seemingly losing his starting spot to Russell Wilson.
I don't think I played, good enough. If I'm being real with you. If I'm being real with myself, I think if I did play well enough, I don't think there would be any sort of playing. We got a few wins. Of course, I'm glad about that, but there's areas that I could be better at, and I'm just gonna continue to work on those and continue to get better.
So he said, if I'm being real with myself, if I did play well enough, I don't think there would be any sort of question who should be playing and who should not. I don't think I played good enough if I'm being real with you.
Absolutely true. And I think his career is not over because he has that mentality.
Yeah,
he blew his chance.
It's true, but most guys won't just admit it like that
exactly.
the way he did.
Exactly. And he blew his chance because he may have been able to be the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback for the next 5 years, and they're going to win. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season in his whole coaching career. Never. So Pittsburgh's going to find a way to win. But Justin blew it. And he should have played better. He didn't. So I think Pittsburgh's making the exact right decision because Justin still could be put back in 3 games from now, 1 game from now, 1 quarter from now. If Russell Wilson can't move and his hammy hurts or he gets sacked every down, they can go back. But he missed his chance to be the starting quarterback. I think he could still be dangerous as a guy off the bench with a little bit more running. If he comes off the bench for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he can put his body on the line and run a lot more. How does he hurt people? How did he hurt people with the Bears? Running.
Yep.
Didn't he have 1,000 yards in a season?
Yep. He led me to a fantasy championship.
He's an elite runner and an average passer. And with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he became the starting quarterback, and he tried to do it like all the pros do. Got to throw first, run second, Now that Russell Wilson's the quarterback, he'll likely fail. Do you trust Russell Wilson to not get sacked a lot, to not make mistakes,
I don't trust
to
him
not
to
be
do nothing.
slow? So you bring back Justin in. What happens if he gets pulled early fourth quarter and they're playing the Browns and they're down by 6 and they put Justin in? Why couldn't he scramble for 5 runs in the fourth quarter? Why can't they have a quarterback draw? You unleash him in his best ability and say, don't try to be a fancy pants starting quarterback. Go win this game for us tonight, please.
The attitude's right.
The attitude's right. For him to come there and say that Russell's going to be given the starting job, Russell Wilson was given the starting job. How did he fail? With a pulled muscle?
Well, and they say that he's being benched, but from the get-go, Tomlin has said as soon as they signed Russell Wilson, he's QB1.
Right.
So, I mean, I like.
But he wouldn't have been. It's correct when Justin Fields said, if I would have lit it up, if I'd have played, then Russell Wilson wouldn't have got a chance.
I don't know. I think Tomlin thinks as soon as he signed Russell Wilson, this is my starting quarterback.
I have no problem with that Tomlin sticking to his word and having that old school mentality, but I really believe that Russell Wilson just has not played at a high enough level in his last year or two at Seattle, then to Denver, and to now. And if Justin Fields would have took off, and Pittsburgh could be dominating right now. Let me tell you who they lost to. I watched this very closely. There's one reason why Pittsburgh didn't beat Dallas. Anybody can beat Dallas, okay? Unless your quarterback stinks.
Oh, boy.
Justin Fields lost the game. The Cowboys have won 3 times they've won 3 times all on the road, but it's against Cleveland, whose quarterback could not be playing worse.
Might be the worst team in the league.
How did you couldn't make up how bad Watson is?
Yeah.
Justin Fields is not good enough, and so they won that game on the road, and then they won one other game on the road. I'm forgetting who else they beat on the road, but the Dallas, Justin Fields gave them the game. The Cowboys stink on defense, and he couldn't even complete a pass.
How'd you know we were going to play this clip for you? You brought up Dallas
I didn't
on your
know.
own. Well,
I watch Dallas closely, and I know them very well.
I know you do.
And the New York Jets fired their head coach. We talked about that last week, right?
That's right.
Is he a defensive coach or offensive coach?
He's a defensive-minded coach.
Do you think he'd like to get back in the NFL?
Probably.
How about defensive coordinator Dallas Cowboys? They ought to hire him today, because Zimmer is another Peyton guy, just like Peyton that we talked about at Denver. He's an old-school Parcells guy. You know what he wants to do? F-bomb you, kick you in the butt, but he can't do it in 2024, and he can't do it when he's the assistant, and he can't do it when Jerry Jones is around. So he just stands over there, and when my wife walks by, I go, hey, Nancy, see this guy? Is he asleep?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a defensive coordinator with less emotion, with his little glasses on his nose and just staring out there as they're getting killed? Zimmer is awful.
Jerry Jones is around.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. But they're not going to fire McCarthy because he won 12 games in a row, 3 years in a row, right?
Sure.
Jerry doesn't overreact. Got that. Got to be loyal. Season's not over. They're 3-3. Micah Parsons injured. No, Zimmer is the problem. Okay? Get rid of him, bring Saleh in, or even better, now this is just a dream come true, even better, no one wants to be involved in football more than Bill Belichick. He is on every stinking show I turn on talking football, and he's great. So why don't we call him and say, how would you like to be the Dallas Cowboys coach this week? Right now?
It's a fight to get
So
to him.
I don't think that will happen. Bill Belichick, that's a dream. But Saleh's I'm making a legitimate statement.
Hey.
Saleh should become the defensive coordinator because Zimmer is the worst defensive coordinator in the NFL. And the Washington head coach is a great defensive coordinator. And guess who's playing good defense in Washington? And you're not talking about it because why? Because Jaden Daniels is killing it, right? Everyone wants to talk about Washington's quarterback. Why not? But their defense is playing great because the coach who coached Cowboys' defensive system the last 3 years is gone. Just a little coaching, the Cowboys could be a minor, playoff team.
Let's hear Jerry Jones on Dallas Sports Talk Radio this week.
And are not aggressive.
And I actually don't even 07 or 2017. Shit, Ben. Come on. I've got more time than that, and I actually don't even have time on this great show for looking back at decisions.
Okay. So, Jerry, 1970, a little different from this past off season in building the team we're talking about today, which there was a lot of criticism that you guys didn't add, didn't spend, and don't add and don't spend and are not aggressive enough with some of the problems that are still haunting the Cowboys today that we see play out on the field. That's the point of talking about the offseason.
Oh, I remember those criticisms very well. Okay, so what?
Or are they playing out to be accurate?
What's your point? What's your point?
My point is, it seems like
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it. I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay? I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't, and I don't even want our listeners to listen to me, to talk about, this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry's had it with questions.
Yeah, threatening guys' jobs. You wonder why some media ask certain questions.
He doesn't own the radio station.
Right.
Well, that wasn't. Sometimes he does. Sometimes that's their podcaster. Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
No, that's on 105.3, his weekly segment on a morning show
down
in Dallas.
It's the network of the Dallas Cowboys. Is that where they play the games?
Well, they have the rights, but they don't own the radio station.
Yeah. Well, that just shows you how
his weekly segment's part of.
All you got to do is look at the Chiefs roster and say, "Have you heard of Kareem Hunt or Samaje Perine?" Were those called free agents a few weeks ago?
Yeah, Rico Dowdell. He's my fantasy back. I'm hoping he does a little bit more. He hasn't done much.
Oh, yeah, everyone was so excited. Oh, boy. You know, on Sunday Night Football, I love Chris Collinsworth, but when he got so excited about, look at Rico Dowdell got 88 yards on 22 carries. That's really good in the running game. And I go, it stinks, and he stinks. And the Cowboys, they should have went out and got Kareem Hunt.
Well, and see, Jerry
they need a running back
about this
more
stuff,
than the Chiefs did.
And Jerry got mad. So, like, how does he think it's going to go after that game against the Lions? It's going to be an
Well, it's the 4th time in a row, including last year's Green Bay playoff game, that they've been behind by 20 points or more at home.
Good God.
And that's a new NFL record. Now, they've been okay on the road, and they are 3-3.
They're still alive.
But they need a new defensive coordinator. That's just a fair and objective.
We got Stan Weber
and not
in
overreaction,
studio.
by the way.
We got Stan Weber in the studio back after this on WHB.